So we just went through how to set up that green LED in the previous video. In this video, I'll show you how I set up the analog input, which is the temperature sensor. So let's start from the beginning. I have, let's see, scroll down here, added a few more things. So let's clarify what these are. I made some definitions, which means these are non-changing variables throughout, well, or values throughout the entire program. We can call them constants if we want. So Arduino VCC, this is how much voltage Arduino is supplying. And this value could be slightly different depending on your computer. USB 5 volt is only nominal. So I put a 5.0 here. And the 0.0 is important. I'll explain to you why the 0.0 is important instead of just 5. And the next one is Arduino's ADC maximum. So the maximum the ADC can read is a 10-bit. So 1023 is the maximum it can read, but the cap is 1024. I always use 1024. And then this is the LM35 degree C per volt. So we have a millivolt per degree C. Remember, a 10 millivolt for each degree C, but we want the inverse of that. So basically a 0.01 volt, 10 millivolt, right? 0.01 volt per degree is 1 over, right, 0.01 degree per volt. So basically 100 degrees per 1 volt. All right. So now we have that cleared up. Let's go to the next one. I added pin temperature is A0. I don't want to use 0 because 0 is at pin 0 or pin analog 0. It's a bit less clear. So this is A0. It's the same pin, but it's more clear. Okay, so let's go down further. We're supposed to read the temperature 50 times before we update the temperature because we want some stability in the readout. So we have a sensor value defined as a double, and we have number 50, although this is probably also better off as a define because it doesn't change in our course of the program, but I'll leave it as is to be consistent with the with PowerPoint. So then we have this for loop with an integer I as an iterator. I equals 0, less than 50. I increments every time by 1. So this will give us 50 iterations. And the sensor value is added with the existing sensor value, which starts from 0, and then we read in the analog value. So every time it runs, it adds another analog value to the existing. So it just adds all the 50 readings together. Now we're supposed to be dividing that out. So let's look at how we calculated the temperature value or temp value. So the first level of parentheses is dividing the sensor value by n. So we're now down to the average of 1 readout instead of the sum of 50. And now the next thing is we divide by Arduino analog ADC max. So this is, let's see what this value is. I think I have it here. Yep, 1024. So the purpose of this is the sensor value now it is an average. It is no longer an integer because you're averaging integers. Your average is not necessarily integer. Anyway, so this is a value between 1023 and 0. So we want to scale it between 0 and 1. Okay, 0 to 1023, scale to 0 to 1. So all we have to do is to divide by 1024. So after this parentheses, the value here is only existing between 0 through 1. So that's like 0 is a minimum, 1 is a maximum that you can read. And then we want to scale it back to 5 volt, right? So we don't want 0 to 1, we want 0 to 5. So we multiply this 5.0. So this next operation is to scale it to 0 to 5. So with all these down here, up here, this is turning the sensor value into a 0 to 5 voltage. So that's what we want. We want the voltage, then we multiply degrees per volt to get rid of volt and put in the degree. So that's the 100. So that hopefully helps you explain what exactly we're doing here step by step. If you're a little confused, just watch this process a few times. Okay, so now that we have the temperature value, this is just kind of a no-brainer. Temperature degree C is just the value itself. Temperature degree Fahrenheit, we do the conversion. And then we just output the temperature Fahrenheit. And the so-called D2STRF, it's not one word. I don't know how to read it if you were to treat it as one word. But this is D to STRF. So basically turning a number into double precision, I think, to a string, formatted string. So first we provide this, which is the D, the double precision floating. It can be treated as double precision, and then we put in a 0 and a 2. Basically, we're putting in, I think it's how many digits before after. Let's see. This explains character width and character size, and then this is the original location that we have already set up as a string. The character array, I think, and we just format the output into this. And as soon as we do this, we're going to finish the loop, and this handler will update, will send this value in characters to the app. So that's the whole process.